Today, I'm gonna build 3 new LEGO Minifigure Habitats for the Kickboxer, for the Desert Warrior, and for the Wildlife Photographer. These are 3 minifigures from the LEGO CMF Series 16. Now, let's move these 2 on the side for now, and let's start right away with the Wildlife Photographer. This one has a base similar to the one that I built for the Ice Planet in the Space series recently. I have the usual 8x8 base, and I brick built and tiled up the water over here. And then you can see the color scheme on the side. We are going to have some light aqua for the bottom side of these icebergs, and then, of course, the white of the snow on top. I'm going to add a wall over here, and we can start to build up already. Everything in white, very simple. And then some snot bricks over there, so that I can start to add some slopes to create a little bit of interesting shape, and top everything off with some white slopes. So this is the first structure on top. Over here, I'm going to add some details at the bottom. Again, make a good use of all these different modified bricks. You can see I use this laying down so that I can connect a slope on the side, and then I can connect also another piece of land on top. You can see here I have a little gap with this tile and this slope. Later, I will try to put that to a good use. Now, on the other side, of course, we're going to add another wall. You can see I added a few slopes to create a little bit of a more interesting look to the sky with this usual medium azure. So all the walls of this habitat are already completed. We just need to find the perfect connection over there. Now you can see here we have a little gap. Over there, I'm going to add one headlight brick with one of these angle stud, these minifigure stand kind of pieces, and that's because I'm going to connect that to the side of the back side of the penguin, so that it looks like the penguin is actually sliding down. I think it's a pretty nice effect. Also because with the slopes, then I don't have any stud to connect it going down. So this is pretty simple and straightforward. Now I want to add the photographer. I want to make the photographer sitting in an interesting position. So I'm going to remove one leg, put it over here on this jumper, and then the photographer is going to sit here on a slight angle so that it looks like he's sort of sitting with one leg a little bit up, and then he's going to take a picture of the penguin over there. I think this is a pretty interesting pose. Now, over here, if you are a channel member, you will see that I try different things over here. The Dreamers member have early access to my video with a vlog style of video kind of thing. I was trying to put a sort of tent over here in red. It didn't fit. I tried different. I tried to brick build it. Also didn't work. So I end up adding some basic accessories. So I have this sort of little printed tile that come from the May Max minifigure, for which, by the way, I built an interesting build quite some time ago. This I'm going to just slide it in there. Let's see if I can reach. In that gap over there, I'm going to add a couple of skis. So we are going to make it look like they are planted in the snow. And I didn't find a way to add any studs on the side there in this tiny space. So I will just need to add a tile over there sideways, but I don't recommend it because it's going to fall off all the time. I'm also going to add a couple of broken pieces of ice over here, and I actually forgot I have some accessory also for the photographer. So we are going to give some of the skis accessories. One is going to be in a red, and then one we can somehow just put it over here. And this is a pretty simple but pretty interesting habitat. I'm going to shift this to the side, and then we're going to move to the next one. That is going to be the Kickboxer. I don't know why they call it Kickboxer. To me, it looks like a regular boxing girl, athlete, matching quite well what we are seeing now in the Olympics games. I'm spending a lot of time watching the Olympic games, and this comes also with the airpiece, but we are not going to use this today. So again, usual 8x8. I'm going with a little bit of broken up dark gray base, and then we are doing some simple work for the walls. We are going to work with these mostly sand green and olive green. I leave a space over there for a window. I'm using this recent piece of window sideways. Now, because this is a 3 stud, I need to fill that gap of 1.5 plates. So I'm gonna use this bracket. I'm just gonna slide it in. This will create an interesting detail here on the inside, as well as a little ledge on the outside. It's not connected, but I think it looks pretty nice. Building up, I created a sort of Olympic rings logo. Not the first time. I used that in a very old habitat that I'm actually not very happy with the result of that one. That one was for ice skating minifigure. Over here on the side, I'm gonna add some sort of punching bags. I built two, one in red and one in gray. This is because the only color I had available for these pieces. You can see actually can move because I have a bar, and then with some all those studs, I just keep it there in position, and I'm gonna connect them here at the back. So here we have two of these that can actually be moved freely. And then on top over here, I decided to add some flags. I thought maybe in these gyms they have flags hanging around. So of course I added my home country. So I had an Italy flag over here and another flag there. I was actually thinking about doing the Singapore flag because that's where I'm living. But I don't have any printed tiles to add the details over here in the left corner. So it actually look like the Indonesia flag instead. But anyway, just for the purpose of this build. I'm going to add a Vita Rush dispenser over here on the side. And I added also a little bench on the side of the build over here with some towel and this bottle of Vita Rush that come from the fitness instructor, for which we also have an habitat here on the channel. I have a sort of elastic band that can be used for jumping rope or something, or exercise in this gym, and another accessory that was with the fitness instructor to lift some weights, and another one over here. And then I'm just going to take the minifigure. This time I'm not going to connect it, even though I could just add another of those angle studs coming off from there. But if I put on the right angle with legs a little bit spread here, you can find the right balance to make it look like the minifigure is actually eating the punching bags, and I think it looked pretty okay. But now let's move to the habitat. That was definitely the more interesting. I was not too sure at the beginning what to do with this desert warrior. A very cool minifigure, but I didn't have much idea. By the way, you can see already here I added something. It's not possible with the original minifigure to put the sword at the back, but I just took one blue Lego elastic band, wrap it around so it looked like a belt, and actually you can walk around with the sword on the side. I'm gonna add a link on the affiliate link to Amazon for the photographer and for the Kickboxer if you want to go and check them out. That's a way to support the channel. But I didn't find the Desert Warrior. Instead, I found the Snake Charmer that you already saw featured a few times here on the channel. Later I will show you what I'm gonna do with it. So we have this base in tan and dark orange. I'm gonna extend the base a little bit on the back side with a few plates and tiles in it. Later on you will see why. This is going to be a very interesting habitat in my opinion. Now, over there on the back side, I'm using this big printed panel. It comes from some, I don't know, Disney princess castle kind of thing. I don't get the set, but I just bought the part on Bricklink because I think it's pretty nice. I actually used this already in the medieval Middle Eastern build that you saw a couple of weeks ago on the channel. I highly recommend you to go and check that video out. But it was in the very back side, so it couldn't be seen very well. So I decided to use it here. I'm also going then on building on this side with another structure similar to the one from that MOC that I built. And the same tiles I use in that one as well. So here we have this doorway with this, teal details on top. I have some headlight bricks over here. Some are straight up, some are sideways. This is not connected, but actually I prefer it this way. Later you will see why. Over here I wanted to add a sort of tentage kind of thing. So again, another printed tile that I use in that set. I'm going to connect it with this bracket over here. I only put one because I didn't want this to be seen from the front. Sorry about the camera. So this is going to connect over there. So if you look this from the front perspective, it looks like a nice tentage that is coming off the wall, but because this is a panel, I couldn't have any studs there. Actually, it's just because of that bracket over there that actually now is nice hidden over there. but it was, I tried to put one over here and it was too bright, it was too colorful, so I decided to only use one. For the top, I decided to use some arch pieces, so I light them up like this, so it creates a nice sort of cover to the street below. And then I tiled and add a little bit of details here on the top to make it look like a sort of roof detail. Of course, if I want to stack habitats on top of this one, I need to make sure that it's something that is nice and flat, so it's not blocking the way of other habitats in the stack. Over here, I'm going to add a plant. Very simple build, but this is the basic thing. This is connected on the inside of that vase, but then we can just slide another two on the side, and it's actually pretty solid. They are not going to come off in any way, and it looks like a nice pot of plant. I'm going to add a few slopes on the side, a little bit of additional terrain over here. In the middle, I can add our desert warrior walking down the road. And now let's add a little bit of extra details. So in my Middle Eastern build, I had this cloth piece that it was connected here in the middle, something like that. But I wanted to try to make it a little bit more interesting in this build. So at the back side, I'm going to add a masonry brick to give the impression that this road actually continues. But I'm going to slide this behind this and through this, along this wall, and I'm going to keep it connected just with the pressure of this tile over here. And as you can see, I put this on an angle. So when we look from the front side, it's looking like this is a sort of halfway cover diagonally of that of this archway. So it's a pretty interesting detail in my opinion, and give the idea of this habitat going very far in the background. Now the last thing that I need to add is the snake charmer minifigure, as I promised earlier. Here we go. I decided to use that hookah, that shisha build that I did last time and I didn't use. I just shrink it down a little bit. You can see I'm actually using a bracket over here to connect the legs of the minifigure so that this is an interesting position. I'm just going to need to push it down there and then connect this over here. And I think this creates a very nice completed scene. You can find the snake charmer in the link down below as well. It's not going to come actually with this purple cover, but it's actually in white, I think. So here is the complete set of habitats from the CMF Series 16. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite. And if you like this one, I recommend you to go and check out, since I mentioned at the beginning, the Ice Planet. The three sort of revisited all kind of space habitats from the CMF 26, the space one. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.